Yo, I got a 2013 Camry checks brake grinding in here. So I'm going to do all 4 pads and rotors and a brake fluid flush. Since I'm going to do a brake flush on this video, I'm going to change out all the brake fluid on all 4 corners. You usually want to start with the longest line first when you're doing a brake flush. I'm on the right rear, which is the longest brake line, and then I'm going to go to the left rear and then the right front and then the left front when I'm bleeding this out. That's not really crucial for right now. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in these calipers, but I'm going to get as much fluid as I can out of it while I do this. I got a Harbor Freight brake bleeder tool that you use air pressure with. I don't need to turn the air on just yet because I'm going to let gravity do the work for me. I'm going to open this bleeder screw up. I don't know, about a half a turn's enough, I guess. And just stick that on there like that. It should gravity bleed too. I should see fluid start to drip out of it. But I'm going to pull this caliper in with a screwdriver. This will pull that piston in. And while I do that, a whole bunch of fluid's going to come out that bleeder screw. I'm just going to pull it in real slow. I'm going to look in here and I see the piston. I'm just going to pull it in all the way. And after I do that, I'm going to close this bleeder. That's just an easy way to get as much fluid out of here before you actually do the bleeding process. There's a hole in here and I can move the brake pad all the way back against the piston, and I'm going to stick something in there to wedge it. So when I go pull the other calipers in, the piston doesn't get driven back the other way. It shouldn't, but I'm going to do that anyways. There. I just stuck a pry bar in there. That's going to hold it in. I'm going to pull in all 4 corners and do the same thing. Now that I got as much of that fluid pumped out as I can, I got the brake fluid reservoir to deal with. I'm going to get this filter out of here. There's a little tab that holds it in. I can just kind of pry back on it. And this thing should come right out of here. Like so. That way I can get in here with my super sucker and try to get out as much of this fluid as I can. And that's pretty good enough. I got almost all of it. Since I got all my caliper pistons pulled all the way in, all 4 of them, I know that this level, no matter what I do, it isn't going to go up any. So I can just take a 32 fluid ounce bottle of brake fluid and just stick it right down in there. And I'm just going to leave it there through the whole process, because it won't leak out because of science. I got 2 14 millimeters on these calipers. These are 14 millimeters on the inside too. These are 17 millimeters on here. As far as this rotor goes, there's a couple of holes in here that got 8x125 millimeter threads in them, and you can take bolts and drive them in to try to pull this hat off. But I'm just going to try to hit it with a hammer on the corner of the hat right here. And that got it off for me. There's your holes right there. 8x125 millimeter. There's 2 of them. Now I can just leave this sit while I'm working on the rest of this brake job, and I'm going to open this bleeder. Dripping out right now all on its own. So technically this could gravity bleed, but it'd just take a long time. You could just open it up and just let it drip until the fluid gets new. The fluid really isn't that bad either, but since I'm doing a brake job and it's all brand new stuff, it's going to be all brand new stuff. I'm not doing anything half-assed here. I'm just going to let this go. Just let it run and run and run until I get really clean fluid out of here. Now I got this on a vise just to make life easy. First thing I want to do is take these pins out, make sure they slide really nice. I can't imagine they wouldn't because they're nice and newish. I'm going to kind of wipe it off and put some fresh dielectric grease on here. You want dielectric grease or silicone paste? They usually always give you this Molly brake lube in with the boxes if you get good quality pads. Don't put this in the slides because that stuff will get rock hard and then your caliper slides won't work anymore. You're supposed to put silicone paste in here. And dielectric grease is the same thing, so if you don't have any silicone paste, you can just go to the parts store and get them little packets of dielectric grease and just use that. Technically, they don't really need anything because they're already lubed good enough. And when they get old enough too, you want to make sure that this lip right here isn't all full of rust and corrosion, and if it is, you want to wire wheel that or something and clean that lip off. Because that lip, if it's full of rust, it's not going to seal on the boot. You know, these are anti-rattle clips. You want to make sure that they're facing the same direction. They'll be on the top. These will be on the top in the front and on the bottom in the back because of the way the caliper position is. I got new abutment clips. If I didn't have them, I'd want to take these off and try to save them anyways. Because the reason why these pads are sticking is because there's rust underneath here that I got to clean off. First thing I'm going to do is put some safety glasses on and just get a chipping hammer and just knock off as much of the big flakes as I can. I can take a file and clean out the rest. I just got to make sure I don't run into these rubber boots. I got two different sets of abutment clips on here for different vehicles. Make sure you get the right ones of those on. I'm going to put these pads in here and make sure they fit really nice. They should slide really good, nice and smooth. Check both sides. Now I can put the anti-rattle clips on here. Some people lubricate these slides. I don't. The factory doesn't do it either. Technically, you don't need any on abutment clips. I think it just attracts dirt more than anything. I'm going to burp these. You push them in and you kind of pinch them to squeeze all the excess air and stuff out of them. There, they stay in on their own. That's kind of cool. Now I got new brake rotors here. There's usually a little bit of oil or cosmoline on these. Some people use brake cleaner on these, and I've always been taught to use soapy water by people that I don't listen to. I always like to use regular old glass cleaner. Cleans everything off really nice. It doesn't stink. It doesn't get them potent toxins all over the place, bleeding through your hands. It lifts all that crud right up real nice. You might think this surface is too rough too, but anytime you think this surface is too rough, all you got to do is take a pen and scribe it. But I got a nice clean line all the way across and it's not all jagged. So I know that it's not too rough. I'm just going to wipe this until I don't feel any more lint on it. I'm a bad boy. I use my pants. Dirtying up my pants with the filthy lint. That way I'm ensured that that lint isn't going to get embedded in the pad and make noise. There it is. It's a squeaky clean rotor. It's as clean as my fingers. Now I'm going to kind of get this caliper out of the way. But I'm going to want to leave this bleeder screw facing up while I do it because I'm still going to bleed it while I put the rest of this on. It's pretty much done. I got a super scraper I'm going to clean this hub surface with. just to make sure there's no high spots. On goes the rotor. Put the caliper on with the pads. I'll just squish them together to hold it all in. These should probably be about 80 pounds. I'm just guessing. I'm getting them really tight. So if you want to know what the proper torque is for these, you're going to have to look it up, because I'm not going to. Same with these caliper bolts. Look it up. As a guess, the size of the bolts they are, I'd say these are probably 18 foot-pounds, maybe 22. I don't know, I'm guessing. Look it up. I'm pretty much done with my bleed, so I'm going to close this. And you got your piston here. I'm going to scrape this too, make sure it's nice and flat. You just want to stay away from this dust boot. Don't go digging into that boot. You can hit this with a file if you want, just to make sure it's a nice, clean, flat surface. And this is where you put that moly lube that's in the package that comes with your brakes. Put it on here. Your contact surfaces for the pads. These two spots right here. And you just want to make sure this caliper moves really nice. You want to get in here with your fingers. You want to make sure both of these brake pads move really nice. And they do. So they're not binding up. They're nice and free. Everything is going to work the way it's supposed to. A lot of times when you do a bleed with vacuum, it'll pull air through the threads and then back out the bleeder, so you'll always get little bubbles of air coming through there, and you want to just crack this thing open to pop the air out of it. It just gravity bleeds right out. There's nothing in there. That fluid looks brand new. Do the same to the other side. Just to give you a visual, this side was grinding. There's no pad left. The whole reason why is because this is really, really stuck. Caliper slides move real nice. Piston moves in good. I got the rear brakes done and bled out. So now that I did both of the rears, I'm going to start on the right front so I can bleed this one out. These usually gravity bleed really fast. Drip, 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 super fast. So I'm not even going to use air pressure for this. I'm going to open this up and I'm just going to let it gravity bleed. Let it drip all on its own. These are 14s and 17 millimeters too, just like the rear. So you don't need a whole lot of tools to do this. This was spinning though. This bolt right here is a 17 millimeter. My wrench is too wide. They usually are. I'm just going to put a needle nose vice grip on here to hold this thing down. I got these fancy little clips that push these pads apart. These actually move, which is nice. Same with this rotor. I'm just going to beat it with a hammer to get it off because I'm replacing it. I got new abutment clips. I'm just going to take these off. This one here looks like it got run over by a truck. I got to straighten this one out. Gravity bled this, it looks really good. Hub on the outside, I'm just going to kind of get the loose stuff off to make sure none of it falls off on the inside of the rotor because it's really rusty. I'm actually going to put a lug nut on this to hold it in place because I don't want them brake pads moving around when I put them on. Now these do move really nice. Now these new springs are the fun part. You got to hold these pads in while you do this or they're going to pop out. Make sure they're in there good. Do the same to the other side. I used a little over 32 ounces, so I had to put a little extra bottle of fluid in here. Since all the calipers are unloaded, I can just take that off real quick. Try not to make a mess. And the level's way up to the top. Put the cap on. I should be able to just pump up the brake pedal. That'll load up all my calipers. And that brake fluid level should go down to the right level if I'm lucky. You want to sit there and you want to let it sit for like 10 seconds. You want to hit the brakes. You want to make sure it doesn't pump up. If you hit it once and then hit it again and it pumps up, either your calipers are still loading up or you got a little air in your system. And this is rock solid, so there's no air in there and it feels like brand new. If you look here, the level's perfectly at the max line, so it's right where I want it. And that's it. I got a super nice brake job, and I barely even got dirty. Okay, bye.